I'm going to be sharing with you information about Idaho passing a bill to make it illegal to force any medical intervention. Now, friends, this is Leslie Manukian, and you can learn more about her at her website, lesliemanukian.com. She has been in health freedom advocacy and education for many, many years. You may know her because she was one that had a lawsuit go forth to get rid of the suffocation devices on public transportation, including airlines. And now she has success with this law that was just signed, a bill that was just signed into law by the Idaho governor. So big round of applause. She worked with the state lawmakers to introduce a bill. And as you know, you probably know that bills are the ideas for new laws, and they get introduced at your state house, your state legislature, either in the assembly or in the Senate, and they go back and forth depending on what the topic is. They go to committees, they're voted on, they're debated on. The public can go and give testimony. And often, right up until the last minute, when these bills are being voted on, there are a lot of changes. I want to share with you this news story, and then we will actually look at the bill because it's very succinct, it's very simple, and it can provide, as I said, model legislation for other states that are willing to recognize and guarantee our right to not participate in any medical intervention that we do not want. So here is Idaho Governor Brad Little, and the article, which was just published today, April 8th, 2025, says less than an hour after the Idaho legislature passed its final bill of the year on Friday, the so-called Medical Freedom Act, Governor Brad Little already signed it into law. The new broad medical mandate bill, the medical mandate ban bill, try to say that, will bar Idaho businesses, government entities, schools, and colleges from restricting entry, employment, or services based on requirements for medical interventions like vaccines, medical diagnosis, or treatment. Friends, do you remember back in 2020, 2021, 2022, 23, 24, 25 being denied your entry into grocery stores, into banks, into restaurants, maybe in an Uber, on an airplane, because you refuse to restrict your breath? I know I was kicked off planes, and I have stood strong, hashtag never have, never will participate in any of it. But believe it or not, even now in 2025, I am still educating, counseling, and coaching individuals how to get a job without the jab. I'm helping parents and their adult children go into their college studies without having to prove that they are a human pincushion for all of those so-called products that are injected into the body. And nursing students are the ones that are really being hit hard because they're going into the medical profession. I have a 100% track record with the nursing students, also with legal immigrants who are getting their legal documents without becoming a human pincushion. It can be done. I have all of the information available for free on this channel under religious exemptions. I have a separate playlist regarding immigration. So please watch those videos if you would like to do your self-study, or you could reach out to me if you want one-to-one help. I'm applauding Leslie. This is an amazing accomplishment. And let's take a look exactly at what the bill says. Here we have it. It was Senate Bill 1210, titled the Idaho Medical Freedom Act. Now, she's been working on this for some years, and so it had a different title related to cooties some years ago. And I also love this example of persistence, of never giving up. I am a person of great optimism and determination, and I am giving a standing ovation to those that worked on this bill that is now law. So basically, businesses, meaning any person or group of persons performing or engaging in any activity, enterprise, profession, or occupation for gain, benefit, advantage, or livelihood, whether for profit or not for profit, except for daycare. Now that's interesting. Daycare center, daycare facilities, family daycare homes, or group daycare facility as defined in this section. So they do have that as the caveat. I'm not exactly sure why. However, do keep in mind that this description of business entity parallels what is called a public accommodation. Some people got that confused, thinking that private businesses could be exempt from not allowing you in, for example. And it's the exact opposite. Private businesses are considered a public accommodation when they are open to the public. And it is illegal in the United States, and some states have even stricter laws like California, believe it or not. It's illegal to discriminate against anyone for the purpose of their entry into this public accommodation or any of the privileges, any of the access, any of the services, any of the products. So I'm not necessarily in favor of more laws, but this is a short one. It is succinct, and it apparently in the state of Idaho is filling in the gap where businesses can no longer, it explicitly states that they are, well, let's take a look here, shall we? It says, and here's the law, a business entity doing, as described above, doing business in the state of Idaho shall not refuse to provide any service, product, admission to a venue, or transportation to a person because that person has or has not received or used a medical intervention. And that is the language, which I really like because that incorporates the suffocation devices, the nasal swab assaults to test you for something that's so deadly. You have to be tested to see if you have it, which, by the way, if you're so contagious, can't you just breathe on the swab? Why does it have to be dug up around in your brain? So I think this is definitely something to be applauded. I do like that they're using the word medical intervention. It's unfortunate that a law had to be created because all of the civil rights laws already state that you do have a right to enter any of these businesses, regardless of a medical condition. And friends, I will just let you know that I have a medical condition that actually prevents me from covering my face. And that is called breathing. Yes, I require an unobstructed inflow and outflow of air in order to stay alive. And I have another medical condition that prevents me from becoming a human pincushion. And that's called common sense. Absolutely. I have common sense to know that no business, no transportation site, no bank, no post office, no grocery store can give me medical advice and require me to follow that medical advice in order to use their business product or service. So huge applause for Leslie Manukian, and I will have a link for you in the description box below so you can take a look at this law in greater detail yourself. Ideally, I'd be able to have her come on the show one day and actually speak to her about what has happened. It's very difficult on this platform. You know that YouTube has certain, requirements in terms of what we can say and can't say, which is why I have my own language, my own Peggyisms, and that's how I outwit the nitwits. But suffice it to say, it's great that Idaho now has really like model legislation for other states to follow. Probably nothing is going to happen in, let's see, California, New York. Yeah. Why did I say it that way? New Jersey, let's see, Connecticut, probably Washington, Oregon, Hawaii, because these states have the trifecta in having a democratically, dare I say, far left style of government. I don't like to go for that dichotomy for the us against them, Democrat versus Republican, but suffice it to say that those who are in the California legislature are not going to be open to ideas such as medical freedom. So I think it's fantastic what's going on in Idaho, probably the best state to start it in because it seems like they are more conservative minded in terms of freedom and certainly freedom over your body. So I wanted to bring you that news. All right.